name is Ujunwa and I'm Nigerian.
My name is Sam Ginn and I am Caucasian.
And my name is Michael McCoy and I am African American.
My name is Reed Munson and I am white.
Trey Clayton, African American.
My name is Roberto Alvarez and I am Latino.
Catherine Minkowitz and it's Polish. My name is Megan Haywood and I identify as African American or Black.
My name is Lamar Pai and I am Chinese American.
Ujunwa. I am Nigerian and my race is Black.
Chance Marlon Sabino, Black and Filipino.
Brianna Berger, African American.
So my name is Alexander Chavarria. I am a Latino, more specifically. My family hails from California.
My name is Jocelyn Malik Eljamal Jenkins, and I am a Black male.
I feel extremely healthy. I feel like I'm a pretty healthy individual. It's kind of my job to be.
I'm pretty healthy.
Physical, not so much. I can hit up the gym. Mental, fine so far.
I feel pretty healthy. I feel probably 9 out of 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, probably like 12.
From where I'm from, I think most definitely it's an easy way to exercise. We have lots of parks around the area, and a lot of kids in my hometown are athletic, so it pushes other kids to be athletic as well. So there's that whole fitness vibe to my town.
Yeah, I feel like it relatively is. It's a pretty like walking friendly neighborhood. You know, there's no freeways or anything like that coming from a small town, so it is. And we have some community centers that are free access, you know, so it's definitely available to those who want to be fit and be healthy.
Based on my home environments, I wouldn't say it's easy to stay healthy. I mean, like my parents, both my mom has diabetes, my dad has high blood pressure, and I think that contributes, and their like poor dieting contributes to my poor dieting sometimes. So it's not that easy when the food that comes into the house is not very healthy.
Somewhat, because it's suburbia, unless you don't commit yourself to a schedule, it's kind of challenging to stay healthy.
Definitely easy to stay healthy. We have a lot of local grocers. In terms of exercising, there's not many gyms around.
You get to look at this group of people that are these athletes, and some of them just seem like they're kind of these super people. You know, you're like, how's everybody like in such incredibly good shape, and how is it that everybody just looks kind of sculpted and like from what tends to be these schools where you have a lot of wealthy people. So what I thought was apparent to me was that, and what I've seen a lot, especially in San Francisco, is that the more money you have, the more time you often have.
Very stressed. It's just difficult when there are a lot of stereotypes that you have to face in like day-to-day life, and I'm constantly trying to overcome them. So, yeah.
Wow. I don't really think race plays a big deal into that. I think it's just more off being in college, you know. So right now it's almost finals week, so I'm pretty stressed right now.
I feel stressed because of the pressure I get from back home. Just because I feel that I have to do better for my family because somebody else worked hard for me to get where I'm at today.
It's the end of the semester, so I'm feeling pretty stressed, but overall, relatively unstressed.
Extremely stressed. Are you kidding me? There's so much stuff I have to go through because of my skin tone or whatever. Like, I recently just got rejected from nursing, and I heavily think that it's because of biased views or whatever, that people don't think that people of color are strong enough or smart enough to get programs that are impacted. So, I mean, that's just another one of my ambitions to get me into programs that I know I'm not supposed to be in, but, you know. So that's on to the stress and being healthy and stuff like that, and it only goes back to, oh, I don't have enough money to exercise to pay for a gym membership, but everyone else does, and they look perfect or whatever, so a lot of stress.
Very often. I just feel like, you know, when you're walking down the street, you're with a group of black people or whatever, you know, they see you and they automatically judge you. I don't know, I just feel like you get this kind of vibe, like, oh, they do this or they do that, you know,
At times, I might have felt in the past where my ethnicity or the color of my skin has definitely played an interesting interaction with someone of a lighter complexion compared to me. You know, I wouldn't say it should be considered direct racism, but you always feel like there's this awkward vibe at times, and it's uncomfortable. If you've never experienced that vibe, I unfortunately can't really explain how it feels like, but you just, you know, that there's that vibe there.
I would have to say a lot. Being somebody who went to a private school, you kind of have that whole idea or like persona pushed on you that you're whitewashed, and so I don't necessarily feel connected to my black heritage, but at the same time I'm not white enough to fit in with white people. So it all has to do with like trying to find who I am as a black individual, and then trying to be accepted to the world as a black person as well.
Not a lot. Unfortunately, it does. Sometimes, just because, I don't know, after you're grown with a label put on you for your entire life, you kind of associate with that label. And it does kind of dictate how you act in certain situations because you've had that label placed on you.
My ethnicity plays a very big part in my interactions because of me being an African American girl. It's very, I try very hard to come off as not being the stereotypical black girl, so I try not to act ratchet or something. Definitely does. Sometimes classism, I feel like, is a result of racism. So I feel like, you know, in certain areas, like lower income areas, are also associated with like areas that are predominantly like African American or Hispanic or whatever. So you're not always given the resources that areas that are predominantly white are given.
Definitely. I wouldn't say just necessarily race, but I feel like socioeconomic status is a big defining factor, and the reality of the situation is colored individuals in this country, either whether it be African Americans, Latinos, all unfortunately fall in the lowest bracket of social classes and economic classes.
I especially think that race affects a person's mental health more importantly. With black women, a lot of us don't think we're beautiful because, you know, that's not necessarily considered pretty. And so we tend to like try to change our image and everything and think less of ourselves, which actually has a huge impact on our health as a whole.
In some cases, I think it does because certain areas where mostly African Americans or Latinos live, the area doesn't have very well food sources for food or food choices. It's mostly like fast food, liquor stores, stuff like that. It just all goes back to, you know, the government.
I think that's totally socio-cultural, you know. In America, I feel like it is definitely a lot, it's hard to speak as like a white male going from this, but I feel like in certain situations it's a lot easier for me to, you know, get by and less stressful, you know, and I feel like the socio-cultural impact kind of like weigh down on someone's African American per se, right?
Just look at the stress levels of the African American males might have to go through rather than white males, you know, just not only with society but parental factors, other factors like that will play a big role in the stress, and also just healthcare too, just because of the sources of jobs or income that you can get.
It's really about the environment that those African American males and white males are placed in. Majority of white males in Oakland are most likely above 5'80". Majority of black males are below 5'80". There's a completely different environment.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. A lot of African American people with the food that we eat, it's not healthy. It's very high in salt and fat. Yes, it's good, but we don't really realize that it's bad for us at the same time. And
I mean, that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary because I mean, I know a lot of people in my family suffer from high blood pressure, you know, diabetes, stuff like that. But I didn't know the numbers were that high. The numbers.
I understand it's because of what African American women go through. You know, we see in the African American community. I mean, we see high rates of death. We see high rates of poverty again. We see high rates of overall injustice, and so that attributes to a stressful environment. You know.
Yeah, I tend to eat pretty healthy most of the time. Occasionally I indulge in like ice cream and candy. And I try to go to the gym 3 times a week.
I try to eat healthy, but the whole college diet thing is not really working for me. I try to like get up and be motivated to still go and work out.
Let me just say this, exercise 6 times a week, you know, eat right. I'm a kid major, so I gotta, you know, I gotta keep the groove going, if you know what I mean. But yeah, literally health is my daily life. I am health. I'm the health. I'm the new health.
I feel very healthy. Should I go in depth?
No.
Yes. I was like, I feel very healthy.
Wait, is your glass gonna see this?
Yes!
Ty, I'm the new health. I am health. That's tight.